Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen across our beautiful country of Canada, our friends around the world. Welcome back to your favorite Angry Canadian on the 25th day of May 2023. And let's keep looking at Russia because our media, our politicians don't want you to know. All they want you to know is we're putting sanctions on them. Oh, Russia is hurting. I guess that's why their ruble went up in value. I mean, I still remember I got the video where Biden was giggling that the ruble's going to become rubble. Well, by the looks of it, it's going to be more like the US dollar is getting erased on the global market. But that's a whole different video. In this one, Svetlana, a very accomplished swimmer, well, she's retired from that, takes us on a tour of a shopping center.
Hello and welcome back to my channel where I continue to show you life in Russia 1 year after sanctions. In my previous video I talked about how sanctions affected the grocery store sector in Russia, and today I want to talk about the effect of the sanctions on shopping malls. I know that shopping malls are not the most essential part of life, but it's a major retail sector that got hit hard by the sanctions. That's why I think it's important and interesting to see how they've been affected and how different do they look today compared to a year ago. By the way, guys, I encourage you to watch my travel videos. The main focus of my channel is travel content, where I showcase life in Russia as well as traveling to other countries. Back from Langkawi to Kuala Lumpur, and I actually been back for a couple of days already. So first, let me catch you up on what was going on lately. As soon as we arrived back to Kuala Lumpur, on the next day we rented a car. Hello everybody, third day in Playa del Carmen and finally get some sun. Right now there's not a single cloud on the sky, and I really hope it's gonna stick that way until the rest of the day and the rest of our trip, because yesterday it was so cloudy and cold. The sun came out maybe for like 30 seconds and it went back, which is really unfortunate and cold, especially since like we're going on vacation and I only brought like clothes for warm weather, for hot weather, and I didn't bring anything for like rainy. I mean, it's my fault, I know, but this is the rooftop area of the hotel. We have a swimming pool right here, which looks okay, whatever. The water is way too cold, so like, yeah, it's too cold. We couldn't swim here. Love that part. It's a little summer shower. Looks so much better in the sunny weather. Right here. A little nice outdoor patio, whatever you call it. Barbecue, more nature, more flowers. So if you're here only for the videos about sanctions, then don't subscribe, because I only occasionally make this type of content, okay? So now, let's go. Shopping mall today because it's the main, the most central, the most important and the best shopping center in St. Petersburg. So if there's any changes, this is where they happen first. So let's take a little walk around together to see what exactly has changed after the implementation of the sanctions. Since the end of February 2022, many Western brands have left the Russian market for good, but some have found ways to adapt and continue operating in Russia. One of these ways for such brands was to change their name or ownership structure. For example, a Polish retailer LPP Group that owns several popular fashion brands like Reserved, House, Crop, Mahita and Sensei that were forced to leave the Russian market due to the sanctions, have now rebranded and reopened its stores under new names, but with the same products and stuff. So let's take a closer look at the stores and see what they're called now after their return. Here's one of the stores. This one used to be called Mahita. Now the sign says just MO. And if you look closely, you can still see the old store's name, Mahita. Let's look at the tags. So some of the tags stayed the same, Mojito, and there are some of the clothes with the new tags, MO. But the paper tag of the same clothing item says Mojito still. As you can see, a few tags changed their names, while others remained the same. This is another Polish brand. This store used to be called House, now it's XC. But the majority of the tags still say House. Same thing goes for this store. Some items have a brand new name tag, while others kept their old ones. And RE is an ex-reserved store. I guess you get it by now. The situation is identical in every store that sells Polish brands. Here is the former Sinsei store, that is now just called Sin, and Crop, which is now CR. I won't even bother going inside, as I'm sure that the situation is the same there. Now, let's take a look at some other stores that changed their names to continue operating in Russia. This is the ex-US Polo store, which is now called Air Fashion, but if you look closely at the signs and tags, it's still the US Polo store. Here is another rebranding example. This store used to be Timberland, now it's called Woodwood, but as you can see at the entrance, they still kept their old signs, Timberland. They even kept their original Timberland sign. And of course, everything inside remains the same as before. The same shoes, the same jackets, even the brand name on the items is the same. The French manufacturer of cosmetics and perfumes L'Occitane also decided to suspend its operations in Russia last April. However, by June 2022, almost all of its retail stores resumed their work under a Russified name, L'Occitane. Here's the Stars coffee that used to be Starbucks. Another Polish brand, CCC, renamed its stores in Russia to Obuv, which literally translates as shoes in Russian. And of course, everything inside remained the same. You can still purchase a new iPhone or any other Apple products at this particular store, which was called that long before the sanctions, because there has never been an official Apple store in Russia. Now, let's take a look at some brands that left Russia but haven't returned yet. Let's begin with Russia's most beloved clothing brands, which left the Russian market at the beginning of March 2022. I'm talking about the Spanish company Inditex that owns Zara, Pull&Bear, Massimo Dutti, Bershka, Stradivarius and Oysha. All these stores have been closed during this time, and there have been many rumors about whether or not they will return. But recently it was officially announced that some Inditex stores will be open in Russia by the end of May under different names. This was made possible because Spanish company Inditex sold its Russian business to the Lebanese company The Hair Group. So we will see, I guess, whether they will reopen or not. The Japanese clothing retailer Uniqlo has announced that it will be permanently exiting the Russian market and will not be resuming operations in its stores. Manufacturers Puma, Nike and Adidas have also suspended sales of sporting goods in Russia. In this regard, their Russian monobrand stores were closed. However, these products can still be purchased at multi-brand stores such as Sportmaster or Superstep. However, Reebok changed its name and now its stores are called Sneaker Box. But as you can see, there are lots of stores that remain closed in Russia, and there is still no word on their return. For example, this closed door used to belong to H&M store, which returned back to Russia for some time, but only to sell their leftover stuff. And now it's closed again. This is a closed Marks & Spencer store. This huge area used to be a Victoria's Secret store, now it's closed for good, and it will be another Love Republic store, which is a Russian brand. I remember it clearly that Mango stores were closed at the beginning of the sanctions, but I guess they found a way how to continue operating in Russia. I don't remember what was here. It's right next to Mango, but now there's a new lychee store that wasn't available here earlier. I would also like to show you some of the local brands featured in this mall, including those that have been around for a while, such as Zarina, Sela, Be Free and Love Republic, as well as new ones that have replaced already some of the Western companies that left. That store is new here. This store is new. I definitely never heard about it before. Another new Russian brand that wasn't here earlier. Alright, thank you for joining me today on this very unusual shopping tour where I explored the Galleria shopping mall 1 year after sanctions.